marvelous Halloween Fiends and Loathed Ones. How are boo today? Now, look, I've got an exciting new video for you all today, but I also want to eat this Halloween candy, so I'm just gonna let voiceover me talk for a little while, so be right back. Every now and then I cover a game or series on this channel and then realize I've never really gone back to it. I still haven't done Sly 2, I haven't covered any Digimon games, and seriously, when am I gonna do Shin Megami Tensei 2? Well, right now it's Halloween, and I figured I should spend a little bit more time with my favorite busty vampire babe. Yeah, okay, second favorite. The first BloodRayne game came out in 2002, and was developed by Terminal Reality and published by Majesco. It was the tale of a red-headed dhampir, or half-vampire, who was employed by the Brimstone Society and ends up killing a lot of Nazis. In 2004, we got BloodRayne 2, and I'll confess, it was a lot longer before I played this one, since unlike the first game, this one did not come out on the GameCube. Both games were eventually remastered and released on Steam in 2020 with the subtitle Terminal Cut, and then got console releases in 2021 as BloodRayne and BloodRayne 2 Revamped. I'm not sure if there's actually that much difference between the Terminal Cut and Revamped versions, but all the BloodRayne 2 footage you're seeing in this video is from the physical PS4 copy of Revamped. So, if you'll recall, at the end of the first BloodRayne game, Rayne got word from the Brimstone Society that they may have located Rayne's father and that he needs to be stopped. BloodRayne 2 shows us a scene of Rayne meeting her father, having tortured the man who raised her to steal the red crystals of plot significance, and then... Alright, Dad's dead. Mission accomplished, right? Not quite. Kagan might be dead, but Rayne has a new goal: hunting down and killing every single child that Daddy Dearest ever spawned. And apparently the dude got around, since she's been doing this for like 70 years, as this game takes place in the present day. I mean, 20 years ago, present day. Rayne is crashing the party of one of her half-siblings who is so obviously a vampire that it's not even funny.
Hello. Welcome. Daryl Zarinsky, and I, do mean welcome.
Of course, Rayne isn't doing much better to hide her roots either.
But something stronger. I never drink wine.
Zarinsky's mansion does a pretty good job as a tutorial level. It introduces some of the basics of combat, shows off how acrobatic challenges work in this game. They don't. And establishes some of the story and characters, like how Rayne has a right-hand man named Severin. He's British, and doesn't ever actually do anything, to the point where I was actually questioning if he was just Rayne's imaginary friend. He's also Troy Baker, so...
Shut up, Morangi! Why are you pushing so hard for us to tell ghost stories?
You stop calling me that, damn it!
Rayne's combat is mostly the same, but vastly improved from the first game. She still has her signature blades, which thankfully now use the square button rather than L1, and slicing up foes with these bad boys is as satisfying as ever. Rayne also has some new kicking moves that are helpful in some situations, and if you're locked onto a target, you can perform some useful jumps and dodges, or as the game calls them, spectacrobatics. Rayne still has her guns, but instead of boring normal guns that require things like bullets, or being different types of guns, she picks up these handy little things called the Carpathian Dragons, which honestly kinda suck at first. Half the time, I didn't even know if I was actually shooting anything until they stopped moving. You do eventually unlock different types of shots for these things, and I'll confess, the shotgun-style one was pretty handy. She's also still got her harpoon, but you no longer use it to just pull enemies toward you and immediately feed on them. Now you get to use it to physics toss enemies away from you or into hazards. Less of a, get over here, and more of a, for the, get over there, just please get over there. And BloodRayne 2 loves to make you solve puzzles this way. While BloodRayne often tries to have this serious, dark comic book vibe, it also gives us stuff like this. And I just can't help but giggle, and I'm not sure if that's what they were actually going for. Of course, your main move is going to be feeding on foes to drain their blood, as this is still your only way to recover health. And I'm gonna give them credit, they really made feeding an interesting mechanic in this game. See, instead of just draining their health to recover your own, you can choose to use an insta-kill to stop restoring health, but instead restore your bloodlust meter or reload your guns. Basically, the same mechanic allows you to choose which of your 3 primary resources to replenish, and I like that. It really works. Some of the goons you encounter have melee weapons, and when this happens, you can't feed on them from the front. And I don't want to tell Terminal Reality how to game design, but the dude with the 2x4 should not be a bigger threat than the dude with the shotgun. I really feel like I shouldn't be going, oh thank God, they only have guns. Occasionally, BloodRayne 2 throws mini-bosses at you, and let's just say they aren't breaking the mold on creativity. What if I told you there was a giant bull-like enemy that charges at you, but you can dodge out of the way, and it'll stun itself when it hits the wall? Brilliant, right? Such an original idea. But like I said earlier, the main plot of this game focuses on Rayne trying to take out all of her remaining siblings, who form the Cult of Kagan. After killing Zarensky in the tutorial mission, there are basically only 3 left. The speedy naked tattoo lady, Feral, the shadowy leather-clad ex-girlfriend of Severin, Ephemera, and the whiny mad scientist, Xerx. These 3 are working on a special blood cloud called the Shroud that will allow vampires to safely walk out in the sun and end the era of humanity. So Rayne goes through a bunch of different locations to try and stop them. While the first BloodRayne was pretty much confined to Louisiana swamps, Nazi bunkers, and German castles with only a quick pit stop in Satan's butthole, BloodRayne 2 has a lot more variety in its set pieces. You've got elegant mansions, aquariums, country-themed bars, news stations, nightclubs, sewers. But overall, I appreciated the variety in its locations. To get around these areas, Rayne will occasionally need to jump, climb, swing, and other verbs her way through acrobatic puzzles, which I kinda hate. Like before, Rayne's fast movement does not lend itself to precision platforming. Like, why can't Rayne just shimmy slightly down the pole? Why she gotta upside-down stripper slide her way down? I'm getting shot at! One way BloodRayne 2 really upped its game was in terms of boss fights. Remember in the first game where basically all bosses were go into blood rage mode and start swinging? Well, not anymore. That only applies to the numerous mini-bosses. But the bosses are usually a bit more puzzle-based this time around. It doesn't always work out, but I appreciated the effort. Like, one boss fight in this game is just playing nah nah you can't get me with Ephemera until the game tells you to stop. I think my favorite boss fight was actually this giant vampire in the sewer who throws suicide bombers at you, and you have to catch them out of the midair and throw them back at her. It was pretty fun. When my harpoon worked, that is. I mean, how is this even remotely fair? Oh yeah, and fun fact, this giant vampire lady that shoots poison out of her boobs? Chris Sabat. Yeah, same voice actor as Vegeta. One minor complaint I do have with BloodRayne 2, and I don't really like when any game does this, is it does that thing where oftentimes the subtitles don't actually match what's being said. Sometimes this is just small stuff, like this one guy who decided he just wasn't quite sexist enough.
Follow us now, skank.
Or this one that's, God, not even close.
So what else is new?
Yeah, BloodRayne 2 still has its fair share of glitches now and then, but some are definitely more enjoyable than others, that's for sure. Alright, but you basically all know how this game has to go. Of course, Kagan isn't dead. Remember, I only said he might be dead. And I don't feel bad about spoiling that, since you do regularly see him on the game's loading screens, like, the game doesn't really hide it. So we eventually go kill him, and that's a good thing, but unfortunately, the world is still pretty messed up from all the work and damage your siblings did, and that's where the game kinda has to end. However, once you beat the game, you do unlock some fun outfits that Rayne can wear, like different versions of the sexy gown she wore in the first level, a cowgirl outfit, sexy anime schoolgirl Rayne, Rayne during her Hot Topic phase, and the hottest of them all, a full suit of armor. It leaves everything to the imagination. In many ways, I think BloodRayne 2 does what a sequel should do. The combat was greatly improved, the world and story got more fleshed out, with Rayne in particular becoming a better character, possibly thanks to Laura Bailey putting a lot more oomph into her performance this time.
Severin, what makes a corpse twitch?
I give up. What makes a corpse twitch?
It's not a riddle, I'm seeing the bodies of zookeepers. Definitely dead, but definitely twitching. What type of vampirism causes that?
You saw the trees in the park and the desiccated animals. The shroud obviously causes some aberrant effects on nature.
Yeah, that's true. I'm gonna shoot one.
There were better environments with more variety, an honest attempt at more interesting boss fights. Really, the only thing I think this game did worse was put way more emphasis on platforming and acrobatic challenges, which I just don't think these games are suited for the way that they are. Overall, I do think BloodRayne 2 is better, but still not anything I would call great. Much like the first game, BloodRayne 2 ends on a cliffhanger, with the world still under the threat of vampire apocalypse, and the Brimstone Society going full offense on all vampiric beings, including Rayne and Severin. The game ends with Rayne saying these next few years are going to be very interesting, and while I'm sure she probably meant in the sense of creating an awesome sequel, what we ended up getting was a trilogy of bad movies, and a third game in 2011 called BloodRayne Betrayal that's a 2D side-scroller developed by WayForward. While it has been almost 20 years and we still don't have an official BloodRayne 3, I am curious if the series is setting itself up for a comeback. With 1 and 2 getting remasters in the form of Terminal Cut and ReVamped, and even Betrayal getting a special edition in the form of Fresh Bites, I wouldn't be all that surprised if a brand new game in the series got announced within the next few years.
And that's BloodRayne 2. It kinda sucks, but not always in the bad way. Happy Halloween!
Hey everyone, thanks for watching my video. If you liked it, be sure to click like, but if you really liked it, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future videos. Extra special thanks to all my friends and loved ones over on Patreon, which you can pledge to today to see your own name in these ending credits. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, take care.